welcome to Hashimoto's Unfiltered, real talk, real solutions. The podcast where we cut through the noise and get straight to the heart of living with Hashimoto's. My name is Dr. Ray Benedetto, your host, and I'm here to share my expertise, personal insights, and from time to time, conversations with incredible guests to help you take control of your health. Together, we'll explore actionable items, debunk myths, and navigate the complexities of your thyroid health. So whether you're newly diagnosed or a seasoned warrior, this is your space for unfiltered truth and real hope. Let's dive in. The topic of today's little chat, and I'm going to apologize in advance. This might be like a mini rant. So just because, it's something that obviously this time of year, here we are in the beginning of December, Thursday, December 4th, and you see this in your own lives, with your friends and your family, and maybe even you do it. I mean, that's kind of the point of my talk today, is a little bit of a rant, but also a little bit of tough love. And this time of year, and I don't understand it. So maybe someone who is here can comment and explain it to me. But I've had many conversations this week with patients. So I think it was worth addressing here is the elephant in the room of the holidays. The holidays are coming up. And when we're doing treatment for Hashimoto's, we're making some dietary changes. We're doing some nutritional supplements. We're making some lifestyle changes. We're trying to get good sleep. We're trying to de-stress. We're trying to do all those things to get someone healthy. And a lot of times this time of year is not super conducive to that, to that happening. There's a lot of temptation around. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of office Christmas parties. And there's a lot of all of that stuff going on. There's a lot of, that's a January problem. That's a next year problem. So people just will punt and literally just give up on a month of their lives and just be like, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever. And I'll see you in January. It's not something that I understand. I just don't get it. It doesn't resonate with me. And so again, maybe someone listening to this right now can comment and explain it to me, because we're only given so many days on this earth. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to waste any of them. And so personally, for me to just say, I'm going to take the next month and I'm going to punt it and I'm going to let my health go in the toilet just because of the time of year that it is, that doesn't make much sense to me personally, because we could say that all the time. And, it happened. And again, I spend a large majority of my time having this conversation with patients for the next coming weeks. We're going to be strategizing. I'm going to be strategizing with everybody who needs it. This is what I have coming up. I want to stay straight. I want to stay good. I want to stay tight. How are we going to do this? And we put together a game plan on how to do that. Generally speaking, here's my advice. And this goes to all of you that aren't my patients. This is something that I would highly recommend for your health. And that is to put up a force field around yourself. You almost have to work even harder, obviously, to do this. But you need to put a force field around your world, your body, your brain, everything. And you have to repel. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I always loved Star Wars growing up. And I still do to this day. And they would always have these deflector shields. So like a force field basically, right? Around planets or, around the starships and things like that. And I want you to take that visual with you. Because if you let it, everything and every person in your life will invade and penetrate your force field, your mindset, your body, your attitude, and it will be pervasive. It will affect your sleep. It will affect your stress. It will affect your diet. It will affect your nutrition. It will affect your workouts. It will, if you let it. So don't let it. Who's the grand poobah? First of all, Christmas is the birth of Christ. Now, if you're a Christian or not, I am. But Christmas is about the birth of Christ. That's what it's about. It's not about holiday Christmas parties and nut rolls and eating whatever the heck I want and going off the rail. Like I mean, if you want it to be about that, fine. Then you're probably not listening to this right now, or you tuned me out a long time ago. But it's not about that. It's not about gifts. It's not about all the secularness of it. Again, if you want it to be about that, you're tuning me out. Like, this is not your talk. We got to keep things in perspective, but you have to make a conscious effort. There is no way else to do this. If you're not making a conscious effort to reinforce your force field at all times, it's going to break down. There are going to get holes poked into it. And because if we're not actively taking care of ourselves, we're not actively reinforcing that force field, it's going to fall over, because whatever comes at it is going to take precedence. Whatever fire that you have to put out that comes up at work, or whatever peer pressure from your friends or your relatives at a holiday party, let's go out and go crazy, with our diet and our nutrition and our drinking and all this kind of stuff. Whatever comes at you is going to win if you don't reinforce the walls of the fort, so to speak. That you will get overrun by the barbarians at the gate. So I wish it were easier, and there's nothing sexy about it, but you have to actively do this, okay? Or else you'll lose. I have to actively do this. I'm not a machine. Like, I'm a human being too. Like, I live in the United States of America and have the same temptations. Now, granted, I run my office, but so I'm not like going to the break room and someone brought Christmas cookies. But guess what happens every year in my office? My patients know what I do for a living, and the type of patients I see and the type of functional medicine, nutritional work, and the type of healthy lifestyle we lead. Guess what? Patients still bring in Christmas cookies, a big 32-piece thing of Ferrero Rochers and bottles of champagne. And yes, it still happens here too. It happens. I'm not a machine. I'm a human being. Just like you guys, I have to put my pants on the same way. I'm going to have the same pressures, the same temptations. Again, I've been doing this for a long time with myself and with ourself, like in our lifestyle, my wife, my family. So our force field is pretty much impenetrable at this point because we've stacked so many layers. Like, it's so thick that you can't get through it. But who says you have to just follow the rest of the sheep in the herd for the next month and check out and punt away a month of your life, wasting time and wasting your health? Who says you have to do that? If you want to do that, that's a different story. But if you do that, make no mistake about it, you chose to do that. Okay. Don't blame someone else and don't make excuses. You can have one of two things when you roll out of bed on January 2nd of next year. You can have improved or at least maintained your health, or you can have excuses as to why you didn't. That's it. You can only have one of two things. Again, little rant, little tough love, but I'm having this conversation a lot this time of year. I always do. And if one of you out there that's listening to me right now hears this and they plant the flag in the ground and they say, I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not going to go off the rails this year. I'm going to wake up on January 2nd and I'm going to at least have maintained my health, if not improved it. Then it was worth it for me to take the time to do this talk. That's your survival guide. That is your Hashimoto's holiday survival guide. My in-laws, I was telling the story to someone earlier this week, patient. My in-laws have a sign in their kitchen, and it's Latin. It's a Latin saying, and I think it's Latin. I think it says this. I think it says, and I can never remember. I know what it translates to, which we'll get to in a sec. But the sign says "Nulli bastardo carborundum," I believe, and it translates into English as "Don't let the bastards grind you down." And they are at the gates. The barbarians are at the gates, ready to topple over the fort. And you have to reinforce it, or else it's going to get overrun. That's it, gang. That is the Hashimoto's holiday survival guide. That's the holiday survival guide in general. But when you have Hashimoto's, or you have some kind of autoimmune condition, or you still have some kind of chronic health condition, you don't have any slack. There's no slack in the rope. Like, you have to stay tight with your diet and your nutrition and your lifestyle and your sleep and your stress. You have to stay tight with it, or you go off the cliff. Like, there's no slack in the rope. Someone who's young and doesn't have health issues and is healthy, or in college or something like that. Look, I did that in college too. We all, like, when I was 20 years old, I was checking out. I was partying and I was doing all this stuff in around Christmas time, but when you're an adult, we have to take adult responsibility for our health. And again, if you want to check out and you want to just do whatever you want to do, and we'll punt until January, realize that's a choice that you make. You don't have to make that choice. Nobody's making it for you. Nobody's forcing you to do that. Build your force field. Don't let the bastards grind you down. Keep them outside the gates, and you'll thank me on January 2nd, especially if you have Hashimoto's or if you have some kind of chronic medical or health condition, because it doesn't take much to topple over, the walls. It doesn't take much because you don't have that slack in the rope like someone who's 20 years old does. All right, rant over. Like I said, if one of you listening to the sound of my voice right now makes the decision and wakes up January 2nd healthier than you ever have in your life, it was worth it to give this talk and to take time out of my day to give it. So hopefully that was helpful for some of you. I want to thank you for tuning in to Hashimoto's Unfiltered, Real Talk, Real Solutions. Again, my name is Dr. Ray Benedetto, and I hope today's episode helped to give you the tools and the insights you need to take another step forward on your Hashimoto's journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode if you think someone could benefit. You can also connect with me on Facebook at Dr. Ray Benedetto and on my website, drraybenedetto.com, for more resources and updates. Until next time, remember, you're not alone and real solutions are always within reach. Take care and be well.